Hi, this is Kavita Ramchan from Life Success Coaching in Mauritius. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whichever part of the world you're from. So today I'm going to do a video to explain to you what I really teach. And before I do that, let me tell you who I am as a professional. I am a life transformation coach. I'm a teacher of the law of attraction, and I'm also a motivational speaker. Now, before I get into the teaching, let me also tell you how I became a life coach, because I was not always a life coach. I was an entrepreneur. I have retail shops, and I have been in the baby line business for the past 12 years. I had an emotional impact about 10 years ago, where my younger brother, aged 29, passed away due to a very, very rare disease. And no matter what we tried to save his life, we could not. In a matter of 1 week, he passed on. So that was a huge emotional impact in my life, which led me on a journey to discover how could such a young person just die. How could he even get so sick? It was an autoimmune disorder that he developed, and nothing made sense. So while I was on my quest to find the answers, I finally fell very ill myself, and I just couldn't understand what had happened to my own life. I found myself in a hospital while on a holiday, and I needed blood transfusion. I discovered I had developed hypothyroid, plus I needed also to undergo a hysterectomy. I was just 40 years old, and all of this was quite overwhelming. That day I made a decision that enough is enough. I need to find answers to life. It had always been my quest ever since I was a child. I was very curious to know, what is life all about? Why, I used to have a great attitude in life, very positive. But I used to find people around me always complaining, sad, talking like gossip about other people and all that. And that was not my practice. So I used to wonder, why do they do that? Why can't people just get along and live happily with each other? And I had made a promise that I won't be that kind of a person. But then I found myself becoming a person who was getting angry at everybody around me. So when I made that decision to find out what life is all about, if I can tell it to you in 2 sentences, the first one is, our life is a creation of our mind. And secondly, life is about growth. This was the question that started my journey into discovering how we are creating our own lives with the power of our mind. And our mind is the greatest power in the whole of creation. This is a quote by Dr. J.B. Ryan. So when I made that decision to find my happiness back, find my positivity back, because I had become such a negative person, I was getting upset at everybody in my life. My driving force to find my happiness back was my family, because my children were suddenly not liking their mother, and that was not something I was willing to accept. So I knew that was the time I needed to find the truth. So what I'm going to teach you today is basically how the mind works, and how the law of attraction is a real law, because I realized only in hindsight, only looking backwards, that I had always been an unconscious competent to the law of attraction. I was attracting things in my life, but I did not know how I was doing it, so I could not explain it to anyone. But now what happened is, after I lost that power and I found it back, now I know how to teach it. I know exactly how it happened and how I created my negative lifestyle from a very positive lifestyle just by my thoughts. So no matter where you are in life today, even if it's in the biggest of problems, you can make a decision to change your life back and attract a much better life, anything you want in your life. As long as you do not violate anybody's rights, you can have, you can be, you can do anything you want. So let's get started. So I took a program by the Proctor Gallagher Institute. A lot of you might know Bob Proctor from the movie and book The Secret. I read that book in 2007 and was very happy to read that book because it was as if finally somebody had documented what I used to experience, which I could not explain. And I can tell you that in one quote that was given by Andrew Carnegie, that whatever the mind, whatever we fear or revere, if emphasized, would clot itself in the most convenient way and come back into our life. Something to that tune. And that's exactly what happened in my life. Whatever I used to really like and whatever I used to really dislike, both these things used to come back to me and I couldn't understand how. But the good thing was that whatever I really wanted also would manifest. So I knew there was something bigger than me that was making this happen. I used to think God is my best friend. So there. Now let me explain to you how the mind works and how you can use it to attract whatever you want in life. This is how the law of attraction works. And if I get the time, I will also put in now, why is it that a lot of people are not attracting what they want in their lives? Okay, so this drawing that I'm going to make is the drawing of, it represents the mind and the body. So this big circle up here represents the mind. I hope you can see it there. And the small circle here represents the body. And this is the mind. Now the mind is divided into two parts. We have the conscious mind and we have the subconscious mind. Now your conscious mind has these 5 antenna-like things hooked up to it, which are our 5 senses. We can see, hear, taste, smell, touch. At all times in our life, at all times, there is a power that is flowing to and through us. At all times. This, up to the time we are alive, there is a power. Okay, now this power is just is. It doesn't have any form, it doesn't have any shape. Now we human beings, we think in pictures and we think with our conscious mind. So whatever we are thinking about, whatever picture is on our mind here, on the screen of our mind, the power that is flowing to and through you is going to take the form of that picture, and if you are dwelling on that picture for many days in a row, it will start to impress it on your subconscious mind. Until it is in the conscious mind, nothing happens. But when it is impressed on the subconscious mind, which is actually your emotional mind, I like to call the emotional mind the heart, because the power center of your emotional mind is your heart, and the conscious mind is your intellectual mind. Now your intellectual mind has a choice. It has a free will to think whatever it wants to think. But once it's impressed on the emotional mind, which is totally deductive, whatever is impressed here is by law, by the law of vibration. It changes the vibration of the body. This body's vibration changes, and you start attracting to you everything that you need to make this image that you had on your conscious mind, which has been impressed on your subconscious mind. Your vibrations change the moment it reaches here, and you start to attract everything you need to make that image into your reality. So by the law of attraction, which by the way is a secondary law, not a primary law, your results will change, because you will take action based on the new vibration. This will be your action. So if you go to see, the law of attraction is a secondary law to the law of vibration. The first law is the law of vibration. Once the law of vibration is in motion, you attract to you everything, all the resources, everything you need, the ideas, everything to take action. And once you act, the universe is simply going to react. Okay? Now, this is how the law of attraction works. So that's why you will probably hear that everything is an illusion. Why we say that is because everything is first created in the mind. It was first created here, you thought about it, and finally it came to pass in your reality. This is why we have that book called Think and Grow Rich. By your thoughts, it starts with a thought, and then you create something in your world. So you grow richer. Now what happens is, what had happened to me, for example, is I used to do this, but I didn't know how I was doing it, right? Now, when my brother passed away, there was like, my heart was broken, like a sadness that was there. But the thing is, I kept on thinking about it. You know, I kept on feeling sad and feeling bad about it. So what I was thinking now was thoughts that were negative. They were not in harmony with the laws of the universe. By the way, the laws of the universe are immutable laws. There are 14 of them, but they've been reduced to 7. You can look them up on YouTube. These laws are immutable laws, and they govern how everything happens in the universe. And they also govern us by governing our thoughts. If you are thinking negative, and if it's just a one-time fleeting thought, nothing is going to happen. But if you keep thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, you're impressing it in your subconscious mind. And if you do that, your vibration is going to be your body is going to be in a negative vibration, which is not in harmony with the laws, and you will, by the law of attraction, attract probably ill health, which is what happened to me. Not probably, surely attract ill health, because you're not in your body is not in a good vibration anymore. It's in a negative vibration. So if you want to attract good things in your life, you can have great health, you can have amazing wealth, you can have great relationships, everything. We human beings are the crown of creation. We are not here to suffer. We are here to enjoy life, to have a good life, to co-create with the universe. And we have the mind as our gift to do that. But most of us, we've never been taught these things. It is my wish today that we should bring this education even in schools, because I think even small children can understand this. Now, why is it that I changed my profession today? Is because I did not know that when I was a small baby, when you're a small baby, you have your subconscious mind wide open, and whatever is going on in your environment by the people who are raising you, all their habits, the images around you, the ideas of people around you are all going in your subconscious mind, and you don't have a choice to say, please don't put this in me because it's not in harmony with the laws. So I was raised by a very positive mother, very great attitude, but I was also raised in a family where my father's side, everybody had a lot of fears in them. Fears of death, fear of this, fear of that. So I was also programmed with a lot of fears. So what happened is, at a certain point in your life, these are like spiritual seeds, right? So at a point in my life, those seeds started manifesting in my reality because they were there. You see, the fruits, the seeds and the harvest is not the same. The reaping and the sowing, the sowing and the reaping is not the same. So the negative seeds started manifesting in my life once my brother passed away. So that heartbreak that I had started to manifest in these negative seeds started coming out. And we call Everything that is in your subconscious mind from 0 to 7 years is called a paradigm. A paradigm is a multitude of habits, of thoughts that are programmed in your subconscious mind and that dictate your behavior. And most of your behavior is habitual. So it dictates your habitual behavior that you do on autopilot. You're not even thinking about it, like brushing your teeth or stuff like that. You're just doing it without paying conscious attention to it. It's already become a habit, and we are creatures of habit. So now if suppose your reality is showing you something negative, like it was for me, ill health and all, I can start thinking that I am in good health. That's how you reprogram your subconscious mind, and you change that vibration, make it positive, and by law, it has to reflect in your results. So this is what I want to teach to the world, because I did not know up to age 40 that I was carrying in me negative seeds. I did not know it. And sadly, I passed them to my children also. And my children are now big. But what I care about mostly is the next generation, because every generation goes through a stage of evolution, because every generation is one step ahead of the previous generation. Now, if I was carrying at a very subconscious level negative seeds without knowing it, at a very unconscious subconscious level, I was passing those vibrations to my children. And when my kids started acting in a very negative way, especially my older one, and he was telling me that he doesn't like me, and I could not understand what had happened, what had gone wrong in my life, because I used to think I'm going to be a mom just like my mom. And that was the time I had to make that decision, that I needed to find my son's happiness. I needed to find me back. I needed to find everything back in my life. Everything. I had lost myself. Maybe I should say it like that. So I want all of you, whoever is watching this video today, if you're a parent especially, or if you're going to become a parent, you have an obligation to start to understand what paradigms are, to start to understand how you are a co-creator with the universe, and how you should shift your paradigms even before having children, because it's going to filter down to your kids if you don't do that. And if you already have kids, it's never too late to start to shift your paradigms, because once you do, even their paradigms will shift, because we are all connected at a very energetic level. I did not study. There are two sources of reference you can go to study about yourself. There is theology and there is science. Although I was a very spiritual person, but there was something missing in spirituality which did not connect the dots for me. But when I studied the same knowledge in a very scientific way, like a scientist, everything made sense. Even theology made complete sense. Now I know exactly how I'm creating my life. I will never entertain a negative thought, because I know what it is going to bring back to me and my family. So I wish you all the best, and I wish you a great creation, because you are a co-creator with the universe, whether you know it or not. The law of attraction is always working, whether we know it or not. So there are many more laws. We have to go beyond the law of attraction, because that's just a secondary law. There are so many other laws that we need to understand, and we need to think in harmony with these laws. So if you like my video, do subscribe to my channel and do share the videos, because the more people get to understand this, the sooner we can raise the collective consciousness of humanity, and everybody can live a much better a life of prosperity, which is our birthright. Thank you so much for your attention. Bye-bye.